If you're someone who cares about plastic pollution, climate, sustainability, or really any form of environmentalism, you've likely taken a pause to think about how your actions and your habits impact the planet. Yeah, me too. So for years, I've carried a few things with me when I leave my house to help minimize my impact with all of those issues. And I usually share a video about those things in July in honor of Plastic Free July. Sometimes in August, depending on my health and my workload, but that's exactly what I want to do in today's video. And I've made some of the biggest changes to my routines and my essentials than any other year that I have filmed this video. And I have been making this video for many years now. You can go back and look and see that I'm still using some of the essentials I used 6 years ago today. But without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to link everything in the description and let's just get into the thing, shall we? This is my backpack that I have been carrying for years. It has been featured in multiple versions of this video here on my channel. It may look like a different backpack because in the past it was like a pale pink color. I did dye it this blue, I think in the fall last year. I do prefer it this way. It makes it look a little bit less dirty. It's less noticeable. On camera, I feel like it picks up the dimension a lot more and makes it look dirty, but in person, it just looks blue. And I like that about it. Now I have a confession. I genuinely do not carry this very often anymore at all. If I'm traveling, I will use it. If I'm doing like a work day out of my house, I use it, but it's not an everyday carry for me anymore at all. And the reason for that is I recently, like almost a year ago now, started to track my wardrobe. And what I learned through the process of trying to track my wardrobe was that I personally like layers to things. I like to have different aspects of an outfit that I can play with instead of always thinking that I need to buy something new to create a new and exciting outfit. I've recently realized that if I really vamp up my accessories, I'm much more happy with being able to interchange things, and basically I can get a lot more wear of the clothes I already have than always looking for new ones. And a big part of that has been amassing bags that I have thrifted and some that I have made, which means I have made the biggest change to my what's in my bag routine that I ever before. Yeah, it's a basket. So the way the basket hack works for me is that pretty much anything that I could need, anything that I would normally carry with me, like at the highest of circumstances where I'm carrying absolutely everything I need down to like I just need my car keys, goes into this basket. And when I walk in the door, I dump everything out of my bag into this basket. And when I leave to go out the door, I can just throw everything I need into the bag that I am using. And I get that that may sound a little too involved for some people, but it works really well for me, okay? Now, one of the first things that I have in here is not something that I would need to carry on an every single day, every single outing basis, right? The Chico bags are my favorite reusable bags. I have talked about them for years. I love them so much. I still have the first one I ever bought like 8 years ago. And back in the day, I would carry like 3 of these on me at all times in my backpack. That's just not necessary anymore. And there are definitely occasions where I don't leave the house knowing I'm gonna need a bag and then I end up needing one, which is fine most of the time because I can just use this little clip that comes on them to clip it onto the outside of my bag. I also though do have one of these in my car at all times and in my bike at all times. So pretty much even if I forget to put it in my bag when I'm leaving the house, I have at least one of them on me. But if I know I'm leaving to go to the farmer's market or thrifting, I will throw this in my bag. You might be wondering, Shelby, that's not a reusable bag if you've never heard me talk about these before. Yes, it is. And I love this one specifically because the strap is long. It's not one of those ones that like once you fill the bag, your arm is out like this. It has a long strap. You can fill it up and it won't be annoying under your arm. I still love these. I still swear by these. Chico is one of my favorite brands. They've never sponsored me, sadly, but I still love them. Now, something that I always take with me when I leave the house is my phone. And don't judge me for this, but I just keep my cards behind my phone case. They're right there. I know people say you shouldn't do that, but I do it. And every single time I leave my house, I make sure that I have my GreenFi card on me so that I can make purchases. Now, I'm an environmentalist, not a financial advisor, but I will say that switching my bank over to GreenFi was one of the lowest effort but highest impact swaps I have made in all of my journey. And I'm definitely someone who thought it was going to be really complicated and intimidating, but GreenFi makes that switch a lot easier. And now I can sleep a lot better at night knowing that my money isn't going to funding literal fossil fuel pipelines and coal-fired power plants, because that's what most big banks do. They've invested $7 trillion over the last decade in fossil fuel expansion, and GreenFi never invests in fossil fuels, period. And actually, by switching to GreenFi, your money will no longer be funding fossil fuel expansion, and instead you can get some money back for doing good things. You can get up to 3% APY on your savings account and up to 6% cash back on verified sustainable businesses, which are brands that I already support, including things like Misfit Market, Thrive Market, Blue Land, and Who Gives a Crap. With GreenFi, you can round up your purchases to help plant trees. There are carbon offsets for your gas purchases with GreenFi Plus. And all of that is why GreenFi is a good banking alternative for us as people who care about the planet, but it's also just a good banking alternative. With over 55,000 ATMs nationwide, you can get early payday up to 2 days with their direct deposit. With no monthly fees, no minimums, no overdraft fees, because how icky is it that banks benefit when we are broke? I digress. So if you are watching this video, I assume that these are your values and it is time to align our money with our values. But also, even if you didn't care about sustainability, GreenFi is just a good banking option. And I think I've made my case for that. So if you're interested in checking them out, you can get $50 when you sign up with the link at the top of my description. And as someone who has been using GreenFi for years, you will not regret making the switch. And I beg of you to do it now. And on that note, since I take my phone everywhere, I do have this case on it. I know it's a little bit obnoxious, okay? I know. But in one of my no buy updates recently, I talked about how I had to get a new phone. Well, secondhand, but you know what I mean. And I realized that my cases that I had just barely, like by a couple millimeters, did not fit this new phone. So I cut it to make it fit. And then my friend gave me this pop socket. I just actually put this on maybe 2 days ago. Yeah, it's obnoxious. I don't care. The reason I'm bringing this up is, number one, always choosing tech secondhand is going to be the more sustainable option, okay? I stand by that. I buy all of my tech secondhand. The camera I'm talking to you on right now, my phone, my laptop, everything I use to run this YouTube channel has been bought refurbished or secondhand. And I will link the place that I bought my phone from in the description if you are also looking to make a purchase like that. So that's the first thing, my phone. The second thing is the case. Most cases are made of plastic and they will be on this earth forever and ever, amen. I personally choose to use a compostable phone case, and I've been using Pila, the compostable phone case, for years and years. And when I switched to Pila, I was really worried that it wouldn't protect my phone, but it has. I have literally never had a cracked screen the whole time that I have had a Pila case on my phone. And having a phone in good condition was really helpful when I went to sell my old phone to the place where I bought my new phone so that it was more valuable. So I swear by them, I've been talking about them for years. They're not sponsoring this video, but I do have a discount code with them in the description. This is just something called a wet bag, and I do not have to put this in my bag every time I leave the house, but it is in here because it is really useful when I am on my period. And low-key, I know the best brand for reusable period underwear. You know where to find that. But this is the bag that I take with me so that I can put a clean pair in the outside pocket. This is where I would put like a refill pair if I was leaving my home, and inside this pocket you can put a used pair. I don't have to use this all that often unless I'm going to be out of my house like all day, really, is when I take something like this, but it is really useful in those scenarios. I have taken a version of a Tiffin with me for, again, years. I have several of them. I have only bought, I think, one, maybe two of these ever. I have thrifted all the rest of them. This one was gifted to me many, many years ago, but this one is my personal favorite right now because it has two compartments. For instance, I go to a happy hour with my friends every Wednesday. One of my favorite spots in town has a killer happy hour. If you guys know what Patrice's and Butterfly Bar is, okay, all that to say, I take this with me every Wednesday because I can put something in here that will be able to stay separate from something at the top. And it's still like a relatively small container, but these are really great because it helps you prevent from getting takeout containers when you're out. And I talk a lot about not feeling guilt around taking things that are wasteful, plastic, those sort of things. But my heart does hurt when I forget to take this. Like if I'm out of town and I get a styrofoam to-go container, that does kind of like break my heart. It just makes me feel like I failed myself a little bit. So I do love this, and I haven't had to get a to-go container in a long time thanks to this. It's a small swap, but it's a swap nonetheless. And you don't have to take this one. You can take anything you have in your home, but this one stays in here. These are the two sunscreens that I live by. I've talked about this before. I'm a huge proponent for protecting your skin, not just your face, but your whole body. If I'm gonna be out in the sun, I usually wear UPF clothing so that I don't have to slather on so much SPF. It also gets really expensive. But on a daily basis, if I'm leaving my house, I am taking one of these. This is my favorite brand. I love this stupid sunscreen, but it's so expensive and I can't justify buying it as much as I use it in the summer. Their ingredient sourcing is really, really great. It's called Farm to Face, the method that they use. I really love them. I think the formula is good. I think its effectiveness is great. It makes me sad that this is so expensive. So I'm like savoring the last I have of this one, and I use this one a lot. I do really like this one too. It's just that the sustainability around it is nowhere near as good as Coola's, but it is a lot more affordable, and because of my biggest insecurity being that my skin is red all the time, this helps cool it off like a little bit, minimally, but it makes me feel better. Along with my sunscreen is my umbrella. My level of skin protection is like, has no shame, okay? I'm not playing. This is a very serious situation. It's the sunscreen. If it makes me look like a ghost, I don't care. It's the UPF long sleeve clothing. I don't care if that makes me look silly. It's the umbrella when I'm walking in public places. And I also have a backpack umbrella that I take when I'm gonna be on extended periods of time outside, okay? I don't care how silly I look. I don't know if I've talked about this enough that people know why I'm so passionate about skin protection, but I had a skin cancer scare a few years ago, and it only took that 10 minutes between when someone was like, oh, that looks scary, we're gonna have to biopsy that, and when they came back to do it, for me to change my entire mindset around sun protection. So I take this with me, yeah, a lot of times when I'm gonna be out. I also keep one in my car. I have a couple other reusables in here that are just lightweight and easy to take. This is a spoon that is also a fork that also has like kind of a knife. I don't really ever have to use knives because I don't eat meat, but that is what it is. And a straw. It's very self-explanatory why I have these and what you would use them for. There's been a lot of conversation around straws in the zero waste sustainability movement. I prefer to drink out of a straw. The end, okay? That's why I carry these. This is a lotion that is refillable and also unscented, which is a big deal to me. This is also by a brand that is woman-owned, B Corp certified, 1% for the planet. Literally, if you can think of an incredible thing that a brand has done to prove themselves to be sustainable, Plain fills absolutely every single one of those things. And I have a discount code with them. I carry this around because when my hands get dry, I could throw up. It's like a very strange sensory issue that I think has actually developed so much over the last few years. Not only is it in the basket, but it is in a couple of my most commonly carried bags. It is on my desk, it is on my nightstand, it is in my bathroom. This lotion is absolutely everywhere, and I swear by them. I just love that there's a company that aligns so well with my values that I also use on a daily basis. So I'm very passionate about supporting Plain, and I love their little travel size bottles, so love them. I do still bring a mask with me into some places, especially if I'm going into activist spaces or community mutual aid type things. A lot of them require that we wear masks if the events are inside. So I still find myself needing a mask a lot of the times. Or if I'm leaving my house to go to a crowded place like a thrift store, a lot of times I will wear a mask. I also am not immunocompromised, but I am immunosuppressed. Like, I do have a very poor immune system. I always have my whole life. So sometimes if I am worried about getting sick because I have something coming up, or if I'm going into a place where I think I could get sick, I will wear a mask. So these are just a few of the ones that I have. They're embroidered. I've had them since the worldwide pandemic. I don't have to use them that often, but I do like to keep them in here so that if I do need them, they're easy to get to. Can I tell you one of my biggest pet peeves is being in public or just being around other people in general. Actually, just literally anytime. And someone is listening to something on their phone out loud. The other day, where was I? Was I on the bus? I can't remember where I was, but this man sat right next to me and is watching TikTok just out loud on his phone with the most disgusting stuff coming across his feed, by the way. And I just wanted to fucking elbow check him. I tell you all this to say, I do have a pair of headphones on me at all times. If it's not these, it's these. I also do still really like my plug-in headphones. If I'm taking a call, I usually use these because tell me why. These are like the most common headphones I feel, and their microphone is terrible. You can't take meetings on them. But I've had these for a long time. My AirPods, I bought them secondhand refurbished, but they still work really, really well. Pila also makes compostable cases for their AirPods. So I have one of those on here to help protect them. This is a battery bank, something that I don't think I could live without. It's very essential to my being, mainly because I need to keep my phone charged for it being my job. I need to have my phone available at almost all times. And another reason that I really have to keep this on me is because I'm a Pokemon Go player. Talked about this for a long, long time. Yes, I still play, and I have this cord with me almost at all times as well. This is, I brag about this all the time, and I don't even think they make it anymore, which is really sad. But this was a really great company called A Good Company. They used great materials. They had great certifications. I think they were cradle to cradle certified. And I've had this for like 6-7 years now, and it still is in such good condition. I use it all the time. And even that many years ago, they were smart enough to know that we were headed in the direction of USB-C. So this end of it has a USB-C that can be plugged into a regular USB, and then on this side it's micro USB, USB-C, and lightning cable. And so I can plug it into this and charge pretty much anything, any camera, any phone. My Pokeball that I used to play Pokemon. This is by a sustainable company too. They use recycled materials in their stuff. They have a tech recycling program. Instagram. I love these guys so much. Again, these people have never paid me, never sponsored me, but I love their stuff, so it is what it is. Only other thing in here are my glasses. Both of these are by Pila, and I love them so much. Blue light blocking glasses. I'll take them if I'm doing a work out of the house kind of day. These are my sunglasses I have been wearing for, I don't even know how many years at this point, 7 years maybe. Love them so much for functionality, okay? Because I recently, maybe within the last year, thrifted these sunglasses, and they have become my pride and joy. They are my signature. I get so many compliments on them. I bought them on Poshmark, and I am obsessed with them, okay? They're my signature. So depending on the outfit, if we're going out for a hike, I'll take my other sunglasses. If we're going out to be cutesy, I take these sunglasses. Last but not least are my water bottles, which both serve a purpose in my life. I've been using this Stanley Cup for 3 years now. I still love it. I bought it secondhand, and I do think it's really, really great. I drink a lot of water. If there's one thing I'm good at with my health, it's drinking enough water every single day. And yeah, I think the only thing there is to say when it comes to sustainability in water bottles is obviously use a reusable water bottle. Tap water in most of the country is safe. If you're drinking bottled water, it's likely coming from the exact same source, just like 100 times the price and with a little bit more microplastics. So when we talk about sustainability, get a reusable water bottle and keep it for a long time. If I'm driving somewhere, this one's coming with me. If I'm biking somewhere, this one's coming with me. This is my Hydro Flask I've had for years and years, and there's really nothing special to say about it other than keep the one you have. If it works, it works. But I did want to give a quick shout out to this thing because I love this stupid bag. I have seen them for sale on places. I actually found this one secondhand, but you can buy versions of this everywhere. Basically, you can put just this over you when you're going on a hike, if you're going outside. I guess I go to picnics and on hikes, and I do outside stuff a lot, so I use this a lot. I also use this when I go on my bike because I can unclip this and strap it to my bike basket, and then I can take it off when I'm done. And in the little pocket here, I will just put things like lotion. I put my bike keys in here on my phone. There's a little pocket, there's a pocket, see? Always. This is in a few of the bags that I use the most often. Yeah, I basically have lotion in this one. I'll put my phone in this one. And then in here, there's sunscreen, chapstick, and my bike keys. This, I highly recommend this. Those are all of my swaps that I use on a really regular basis, many of which I have been using for years and I swear by. So if you're looking for anything to fulfill that role in your life, I highly recommend literally everything I talked about today, and I'm gonna leave everything linked in the description. But I'm so curious, what is a part of your routine right now if it has something to do with sustainability? And what are some things that have fallen off of your routine that feel like they're just not that important for as much effort as you were putting into them? I'm super curious because I feel like my, willingness to make myself really go out of my way has changed over the years because I focus my time, energy, and money on things that are a little bit more impactful than me remembering my reusable straw. But I'm curious how you feel about it. And this is your reminder that you do not need to be perfect to make a difference, okay? So make sure you check out today's sponsor, GreenFi. They are offering $50 when you sign up with them, and they are the best banking alternative out there, like I said. And remember, until next time, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. Bye, guys.